Hey there, and welcome to Kwik-Que. Today we're going to be doing pork shoulder on the Lone Star Grillz horizontal offset. Today guys, we're going to be doing a 10-pound pork shoulder, pork butt. Nothing too extreme on this. I do tend to trim the fat cap off. Typically speaking, in my experience, the less fat, the more bark formation you're going to get. So I tend to go pretty aggressive on the fat cap. It'll look pretty similar to this other side. You could see all the intermuscular fat, and typically fat means flavor. So I don't tend to enjoy to eat this. Most of this is going to be discarded at the end of the cook anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a quick trim. Alright, that's about all I'll do on this fat cap side. But the other side, there's usually not a lot of trimming involved. Usually I'll give it a feel, make sure I don't feel any tough arteries, hard fat deposits. I'll clean up some small scraps, just kind of hanging off. But in general, not much trimming we're going to be doing on this side. I also add about a tablespoon of Our Butts Are Smoking Chery Habanero. Okay, you guys saw what's in the injection marinade. You may have noticed we're using a rub that's a fairly reasonably coarse grain. That won't work in the injection. It'll plug up the tip. So one of the things I've done is I use this fine strainer. Links to all of this stuff are down below, but use this strainer, and then I'll actually pour the injection through the strainer, and that'll keep all the larger stuff out of the mix. All right, now that we have this strained, free of any large pieces that'll plug up the injection, we're going to go ahead and inject this pork butt. You're just going to be working a grid pattern, nothing real fancy here. Just want to get the full 1.5 cups of injection into the pork butt, and use these liners as they kind of help with cleanup. If I start to get some leaks, I can fold up the edges and keep all the liquid in one place. All right, today we're going to be using a few different things as far as the rub goes. One of my favorites is the Our Butts Are Smoking Chery Habanero, the Oakridge Barbecue Smoky Chili Lime, and the Killer Hogs Hot Barbecue Rub. We're going to be mixing these up about a third part each, nothing too exact. The three of them all are on the sweeter side of the profile. A little bit of heat in each of them, but nothing too extreme. Okay, we're going to go ahead and apply the rub. One of the things I always consider when applying the rub is, you know, what side or what presentation side is the meat going to be. This is actually where the fat cap used to be. I like to smoke fat cap down. I think that helps maximize the bark on the meatier side of the cut of meat. So I'm going to start on the bottom. We're going to let this sit for a couple minutes, flip it over, do the sides, and do the top. All right, while we're waiting for the pork butt to tack up, we're going to go ahead and get started making the fire. Start getting the cooker up to temperature as we're waiting for everything to come up to room temp. All right, you can see we've started to tack everything up. We got almost kind of a wet look to it. We're gonna go ahead and start seasoning the sides. We'll flip it over and we'll get the top of it as well. All right, our charcoal's ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and get some things moved around. We're gonna take the charcoal, put it in the fire basket itself, and remove this upper grill grate here in the process. So let's go ahead and get this charcoal dumped. We'll go from there. All right, now that we got the charcoal, we're going to go ahead and use some of these smaller splits of wood, and we're going to start to build a coal bed. The priority isn't necessarily getting the smoker up to temperature yet, but more along the lines of getting a coal bed built, as today's going to be a pretty long cook. For the first probably 3 to 5 minutes, we're going to go ahead and let the wood catch. We have firebox wide open, smoker open, and stack open as well. Right, now that the smoker's caught, we're going to go ahead and close the box up all the way. And go ahead and leave the door open for now. Let things really breathe and get nice and hot. Starting to come up to temp. This coal bed is going to start to kind of burn down. And we're going to continue to add some wood. Alright, now that we have a good quality coal bed built up, I'm going to go ahead and start adding a little larger pieces of wood and get this thing dialed into 225 degrees today. Alright, we're going to add a little water tray here, help to keep some moisture in the box as we smoke today. We have the smoker up to temperature about 250 degrees. We're actually going to bring the box temp down to about 225 during the cook. But I like to start a little warm. But as you can see, we have the meat definitely is sweat up. All that dry rub and everything's tacked up, sticking really, really well. And we're ready to go on the grill. Smoker's up to temp. We're sitting at 250 right now. We're going to adjust down, but we're going to go ahead and get this on the pit. All right, meat's on the pit. It's about 225, 250 degrees. We're going to be keeping it in that range today. Probably won't even open the pit for the first couple hours. Right now we're focused on developing bark and keeping a good, clean, burning fire. The smoke you see behind me, or I guess lack thereof, not a whole lot. Thin blue smoke, trying to avoid the thick, pluming, kind of white, bellowing smoke. But we'll check in on this pork butt in about 2 hours and hang in there. Guys, we're 2 hours into this cook. We're going to take a look at the pork butt here in just a second, but maintain nice, good light smoke. Maintain temperature probably within 10 or 15 degrees over the last couple hours. Should have a good formation of bark starting. So let's take a look. Pork butt's coming along nicely, starting to get a little bit of color on it, starting to get some good bark formation. Everything's looking good. As of now, we're not going to be spritzing at all. We're just going to continue to maintain that temperature about 225, 250. We'll be checking on it about every half hour, hour or so for now, till we get it to the color we'd like. We're not going to be spritzing today. Everything looks good. The water tray's helping out a lot, keeping moisture in the cook chamber. Everything's going great. So we're just gonna stick it out, continue on, and we'll be monitoring every half hour or so. All right, we're at 4 hours. Let's go ahead and take a peek. Colors are looking really, really good. And we'll be wrapping in the next half hour or so. Let's go ahead and take a peek. We're about 5 hours in now. Color should be about right based off what I've been seeing. And absolutely looking gorgeous. So let's go ahead and get the stuff ready, get this thing wrapped, and we'll get it back on the pit, but looking really good. Okay, based on color, it is time to come off. It's looking real good right now. Time to wrap. Let's go ahead and get this. We're gonna do 2 layers of foil. I did check internal temperature off camera, but we're sitting about 150 degrees just as a reference for you. Not necessary. Again, we're going on color and texture, and we're ready to go ahead and get this wrapped up.
I know a place where we can go. It's just around the corner. And I say, oh.
All right, we have the temperature probe hooked up. Pork butt back in. Again, same place. I did spin the pork butt around 180 degrees, try to even out any cooking variance we may have. But it'll sit here for next good probably 4 hours or so as we get that internal temp up to 195 to 200 degrees. All right, we'll get a quick shot before we lose sunlight, but we're still clipping away here. About 275, 250, trying to get this thing finished up, but it's cruising. The alarm just went off. We got an internal temperature of 196, and this thing should be ready to pull. All right, 10 hours, 225 to 250. We got the pork shoulder up to 195, 196 degrees, and probed really tender, and it's ready. So we're gonna let it rest about an hour, come down to temp, reabsorb some of the juices, and we'll tear into it here just in a sec. Hang out. The moment we've been waiting for. It's been an hour. Pork butt's been cooling down. Let's get tearing into this and give it a taste. All right, let's give this pork a taste. It looks absolutely delicious. We have really good smoke ring, great bark, and let's dig in. Wow. Very juicy. That's delicious. Let's go ahead and shred this up. You can see it's just going to pull right apart. Nothing to it.